Gisele Bündchen, a supermodel and ex-wife of Tom Brady, is now speaking out publicly about her divorce from the former NFL star. You might say, with some truth, that it's kind of cheap to use this story as fodder for this segment. After all, anytime a celebrity speaks publicly about a divorce, they're guaranteed to say things worthy of cancellation. Celebrities are very often shallow, self-absorbed, and stupid, and never does that become more apparent than when they are trying to publicly rationalize their failed marriages. Be that as it may, cheap or not, Gisele has earned her spot here today. Fox News has the story, quote, Brazilian supermodel Gisele Bündchen is breaking her silence about their divorce from former NFL superstar Tom Brady. After 13 years of marriage, Bündchen spoke her truth in a tell-all interview and put a stop to the rumors for good. Okay, and second thought, we have to make a late addition to the cancellation. Whoever wrote this article for Fox is also canceled, because I understand that this article about a Gisele Bündchen interview is not meant to be a classic of American writing. I realize it's just content, it's just fodder intended to be vaguely consumed and then forgotten about 5 seconds later. But as someone who is also in the business of creating internet content, can we have at least a little bit of self-respect and pride in our craft? I mean, you packed 3 cliches into the first 2 sentences. Breaking her silence, spoke her truth, put a stop to the rumors for good. All I'm asking is that you take an additional 45 seconds to think of a slightly different way of wording it. You don't have to reach immediately for the cliche clearance bin. And this is important for everyone on the internet, in the internet content creation space, to understand, because they've already created AI that can write articles better than this. So if you want to have any chance of surviving, you need to be at least slightly more creative and interesting and human than a chatbot. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Back to the article. It says, the 42-year-old model said the split was the death of my dream as she lost who was meant to be her partner for life. She lost him. Oh, she lost him, did she? Did she let go of his hand at the mall? Did he wander off in the middle of the night? Lost him? No, she didn't lose him like you lose a pair of shoes. She chose to leave him. It was an active decision. I'm not sure to what extent it was a mutual decision. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But it's certain at least that she was an active participant in the divorce. She didn't lose anything. She gave up. They gave up. But don't tell her that. She likes to tell herself that this all happened on its own through forces outside of her control. Quote, it's tough because you imagine your life was going to be a certain way and you did everything you could, you know. Bündchen emotionally told Vanity Fair as she wiped away tears, I believed in fairy tales when I was a kid. I think it's beautiful to believe in that. I'm so grateful I did. Bündchen candidly addressed the reason the former power couple decided to split after over a decade together. Sometimes you grow together, sometimes you grow apart, she noted. When I was 26 years old and he was 29 years old, we met, we wanted a family. We wanted things together. As time goes by, we realized that we just wanted different things, and now we have to make a choice. That doesn't mean you don't love this person. It just means that in order for you to be authentic and truly live that life that you want to live, you have to have someone who can meet you in the middle, right? It's a dance. It's a balance. When you love someone, you set them free to be who they are. And if you want to fly in the same direction, then that's amazing. Okay, let's clear up 2 things. First, if you leave your spouse, it absolutely does mean that you don't love him. The word love has no meaning if it can apply to a broken vow just as much as it applies to an honored vow. The way that Gisele defines love, the way that our culture defines it generally, is essentially like this. A loving action is whatever action I happen to be taking at this moment. To love someone is to do whatever I want to do. And this is what she means when she says the word love. It's quite a convenient definition of the term, but it's also meaningless. It's a meaningless definition. Love is not merely a feeling. And even if it was merely a feeling, you clearly don't feel too great about somebody if you want to divorce them. But it's more than that. Love is a choice. It's an act. It's a sacrifice. Love is an activity. You know, to love your spouse is to be faithful. It is to be loyal. It is to be reliable. It is to look out for their physical and spiritual well-being and so on. Divorce is the severing of all of that, which is to say that it is the death of marital love. I mean, that's the whole point of getting divorced. The most important point is that a faithful marriage and a divorce are both choices. They are options actively chosen. Gisele talks about marriage using passive language. We grow apart, time goes by. Sometimes you end up going in different directions. It's like Tom and Gisele were two pieces of litter, a couple of empty plastic bottles floating in a puddle, randomly bumping into each other and then drifting off in opposite directions. She talks about it like she has no control over it. Now, in any other situation, she is certain to speak highly and confidently of her own agency, her strength as a fierce and independent woman. But when it comes to making excuses for a failed marriage, suddenly she's a helpless flower being swept along by the forces of fate. Second, Gisele claims that her divorce was a necessary step in the pursuit of authenticity. She says that in order to be authentic and to live the life you want to live, sometimes you have to break your marriage vows and destroy your family. And this is the part that really grates me the most and why we're talking about it, because we hear a lot about authenticity these days. And it's always in this context. To be authentic is to be selfish. The authentic path is the most convenient path. It is authentic to the self in the sense that it serves the interests of the self, or at least what you perceive your interests to be. But this is not authenticity, not in any meaningful way. If it is authentic, it's only because you are authentically following your most cowardly and self-serving and shallowest impulses. But there is a higher authenticity, right? There is an authenticity that we should actually strive towards. And that is the authenticity of a virtuous life, the authenticity of faithfulness and love and sacrifice, the authenticity of promises kept and vows upheld. True authenticity can be found in the pursuit of something greater than yourself, which is what marriage is all about, or what it's supposed to be. And that's what Gisele has abandoned. And that's why she is today, finally, canceled. And that'll do it for this portion of the show. As we move over to the members block, you become a member today. Use code Walsh at checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans. Hope to see you there. If not, talk to you tomorrow. Godspeed.